Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to take a look at how the new EZA for the Strength Radditz Giant Ape unit does in the Gods of Destruction event. So basically, Radditz got an EZA, and that EZA makes him pretty decent. It's really brought him, I would say, up to meta. I wouldn't say it's made him incredible, but it's made him very useful. So what I've done is I've put him on the Giant Ape Power team. We're going to take a look at how he performs in the Gods of Destruction event. He's going to be taking on Helez. She is obviously the type changing God of Destruction, so a very difficult God of Destruction to handle. You need to have a lot of high defense, or you need to have really high DPS, and a lot of damage reduction to be able to survive the type neutral attacks. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Radditz pair up with the Goku. They share 3 links, so it's not too bad. And we'll take a look at how he does during this fight. So obviously, you could test him against the physical gods of destruction as well. But to do so, you'd need to either have Turles or you would need to have the Strength Cooler, as those are going to be the most appropriate leads to run him under for the Terrifying Conquerors team. Other than that, I don't really have strong enough Strength Extreme type leads that would warrant giving him a good display. I feel it wouldn't be fair. So here you can see we've got about 80,000 defense, which is decent, but it's not really enough for the Gods of Destruction event, even with an item. But you get a sizable amount of orbs, which we did there, and all of a sudden he's up to a very respectable amount. 150k is actually a decent amount, especially with an item. But once he attacks, he actually won't take damage at all, because that greatly stacking attack and defense really does help out. So he's going to jump up all the way to about 180k, which means even without an item, he would be able to take 0 digit or double digits, not 0 digits, but essentially 0 damage from normal attacks. Now I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually very good. Couple that with his decent damage and his ability to do good damage whilst under the 80% health threshold, and you have a pretty decent looking unit. So Radditz, a good start there. Obviously that was a turn where we got quite a few orbs, but with no support or anything, so it's quite difficult to run in the Gods of Destruction event. It's a very good display. And although obviously it doesn't make him a must take, if you are looking for a unit to fill in a slot on a team, Radditz is there. He's a solid enough option. He's not going to let you down. So yeah, really decent. The only thing you do need to focus on is obviously getting him those orbs, which is quite imperative to do. Another team you could possibly run for the Helez events is obviously Pure Saiyans. That could also really help you out, so you might want to focus in on that. But yeah, it's just going to really depend on what you have at the time, and whether you can use Radditz in those teams. So yeah, definitely something that you might want to take a look at. But other than that, he's a great guy. He's a great team unit. He's a solid option. He doesn't create orbs or do anything, which is a little bit of a problem. He doesn't really facilitate himself. You would have to facilitate him. But that being said, he definitely is a unit that can fill in a gap. And I want to say that because I think filling in a gap is where he's going to be the most useful. He's not the type of guy you want to make your centerpiece. You more want to have him as a floater. We've got him as a centerpiece here just through the fact that we're trying to get a good look at him. But you definitely would rather have him as a floater. That gives him always the opportunity to have his attack greatly stack and his defense stacked up. It also allows you to maybe focus on giving him some orbs on the back end, try and create some avenues for him to get orbs. You can see here only 100k with those few orbs, so you can see the big difference between a lot of orbs and only a couple of orbs, which is obviously important to take note of, because we do need to be aware of the limitations of the unit. But that being said, he still does a really decent job. I genuinely am quite impressed with it. My Radditz does have 2 dupes, so that is something that you need to be aware of. But there is room for him to grow in his link leveling system. You can see there 225k off of a type neutral attack, which honestly isn't too bad. Yes, there's an item active, but considering that it's type neutral, essentially it's not too bad. That's a really solid display. Whether it's a great display, obviously I don't think so. But if he had got more orbs, that would have dropped down quite a bit. I mean, if we had got a couple more orbs, Radditz would have been sitting about 130. That greatly stacking would have raised his defense a bit higher. And you could see that 225 possibly drop down to the 160s, 150s, which is a very big jump. It's that extra 60k can really help out. It can really improve how much damage you take. So yeah, definitely something that I would say you should be aware of. We'll use Gogeta's active skill. Very, very cool ability. It obviously debuffs the enemy traditionally, but it also buffs Gogeta. Unfortunately, we're not really able to debuff her attack too much, but it's always nice to buff up Gogeta there. We'll manage to get hopefully one more turn in with Radditz. We do get one more turn in. I can't, we don't get to see too much from Radditz basically. But, I think overall he's been fine. I think as a floating option on a Giant Ape Power or a Pure Saiyans team, he could do the business possibly and help you finish a Gods of Destruction event. I think if you have Cooler or if you have obviously Turles, he could definitely be used for the physical Gods of Destruction. I think he's a viable option there, even if it's just as a floater as well. I definitely think he's a floating unit. I don't think make him a designated main unit. He's not that kind of guy, but he will be useful and he can help you out in a tight situation. So yeah, definitely think that's something you should look at. But beyond that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below how you guys feel about Radditz. Have you managed to use them in any Gods of Destruction events? Have you used them at all? And what kind of dupes did you have? What kind of hidden potential system did you go for? And which teams did you run them on? But that's going to be it from me, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. But until then, take care, and bye.